BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment and political props. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
What's up, Tiger fans? Welcome to another episode of Tiger Talk TV. I am the Corey C. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single upcoming episode. You can find us everywhere you find your podcast. That's on the Apple Podcast app, Google Podcast app, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. Be sure to follow the show and tell every Tiger that you know. And remember, when you support Tiger Talk TV, it all helps the cause, which is the I Love Jackson State University. All right, big game coming up this weekend at the Vet. Have the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils coming to town, and every year you know who we got to bring on to talk about him. He's a Hall of Famer, so it's always a pleasure to have him on the show. And he's also the PA announcer for Mississippi Valley State Athletics, none other than Jerome Blake. Welcome back to the show.
Oh man, we appreciate you having me, man.
Always, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. You know, I enjoy it, full of knowledge. We talk more than just Valley JSU, but on the show we'll keep it Valley JSU. But I don't know, we kind of catch up offline. We'll kind of take it anywhere, so it's always a pleasure to get you.
Okay, okay.
All right, all right. So let's talk about it. We know this Valley team coming in winless on the season, unfortunately, and I know you got a lot to say about it. I know you want to tell me about what's going wrong, but let's do this. I want you to start us out on a positive note. Give me something that you actually like about this team that you've seen so far this season. Let's start there.
No, Corey, to be honest with you, it's really nothing to really bring negative to the table. You may not believe it.
Okay.
Being that they're winless, true enough, they've been pretty exciting to watch this year. They have been pretty exciting to watch. Basically, somewhat of a brand new team. You really don't have a lot of veterans on this team. You got some seniors, and but I'm gonna be honest with you. He he's got a lot of raw talent on that team. He's got a lot of talent that, oh gosh, man. I mean, he's got athletes. He's got really, really good, superb athletes on that team. And what's gonna happen is he's gonna sooner or later those kids are gonna jail.
Mm.
They're gonna jail together, and their chemistry hadn't just kicked in yet. You know, Corey, how it is when you get a lot of junior college transfers, you get a lot of portal transfers. When you get that to going, because coach did something this year. We didn't even know he had as many kids as he had because we were wondering who was he recruiting? Who's Coach Wade recruiting this year?
Mm.
Nobody knew what he had. They really didn't. And man, I mean, when we saw the football team in the preseason that he had gotten together, not the spring, but I'm talking about right before the season,
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen an offensive line that big at Valley State. Gosh, man, they have a mammoth offensive line. It
Mm.
looked like Joe Bridges and them looked back in '85.
Mm.
I mean, they look like that, but you could tell that they tough enough. But it just, like I said, something hadn't jailed yet.
Mm.
It hadn't jailed, and defensively, this team they play good football in spurts right now. But it
Mm.
all goes together by saying their chemistry ain't there. But you can look for the future in this, and
Mm.
coach will be in his third and final. I think it's a 3-year contract that they have. Next year he'll be in his third and final contract, and I got a feeling that that's going to be a year that it's going to be said that, well, coach saved that best for last. and I don't want to go way over into next year. But like I did say in the beginning, they're exciting to watch, and it is something to look for in the future. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time we talk, I'll be honest about it,
Yeah.
and I will tell you, no, we ain't got it this year, or I don't know. I don't know whether it's the kids or the coaching.
Hmm.
We talk, but hey, man, I'm gonna be honest with you now. And this ain't saying they gonna come up in Veteran Memorial and they gonna stop Jackson and they gonna put up numbers. I can't sit here and tell you that,
Hmm.
but I can tell you, in the process of the game, when you look at them, you're gonna say, you know what? Uh, Jerome was right.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
they gonna be something to deal with.
Okay.
But I mean, if you keep them there, keep all of
Hmm.
them there, and keep them together, he's gonna have it. He's gonna.
Okay.
I mean, they're gonna have it. I'm gonna be honest with you. You
Well,
know.
that's one thing I like about you. You're always honest. You always tell the truth. You don't sugarcoat it. So that's why in the beginning I said let's start with the positive. I expected you to have more negative to say, and that's just on the outside looking in, looking at the records, obviously. But you're there daily, weekly watching the game,
Mm-hmm.
so you see the positive and you see the athlete. So looking forward to seeing what you're saying. I'm looking forward to seeing it on display. But let's stick with the positive. I want to talk about one guy in particular on offense, Nathan Rimbert. He's the second leading receiver in the entire SWAC. He has 52 catches, 718 yards, and he's coming off of a 7-catch, 163-yard performance. So tell us about. He's a small guy, but tell us about him.
Talk to him all the time. I do volleyball also, and I do soccer, and Nathan's always with the Fabian Fan. The Fabian Fan is
Hmm.
another athlete we're going to talk about.
Yep.
Nathan Rimbert is seriously he's that X factor. He's a serious X factor. Nathan Rimbert, uh, real tough kid. I mean, I've seen him take some hits this year that, oh gosh, man. Uh, I seen him shaken up one time the whole year, and
Hmm.
that was this past week. I mean, but he's been taking blows all year. But this kid, look here, when he catch it, you have to hit him. You got to come up and hit Nathan. And if you gonna come up and tackle him, it might be six. I'm gonna
Hmm.
be honest with you. When you come up and hit him, you got to hit him, hug him, almost squeeze him, and love him, and slam him to the ground.
Hmm.
Because the little man is elusive. The little man is really, really elusive. I'm serious, man. He is, and talking to him all the time. He ain't cocky.
Hmm.
He ain't uh he ain't real brash. He ain't sit on saying he's a real low key down to earth guy. He laugh and joke and just like all other youngsters. But
Hmm.
my friend, he's one of those kids that you can say, what is he doing at Jackson State? What is he doing at that? What is this boy doing in the SWAC? And the only thing you can say about that is it's because he's short. He's a little guy.
Okay. 5'9",
He he got right.
170.
He's got the same tenacity as Jerry and Tyrone Timmons
It's
and
who?
Tyrone Timmons that played at Valley some
Who
years
was the
back
first
in
person you said?
Jerry.
Jerry who?
Jerry Wright. He's
Wait a
got
minute.
that
You
type.
putting this kid in the same sentence as
This
Jerry
this
Rice? Come on now.
this, but now you got to look at it. Hey, Corey, you got to look at it now. Jared, what 6'2", 6'3"? Tyrone was hell 6'4". He was 6'4". Now you got They had quarterback that could get it to him.
Mhm.
This boy got a decent quarterback,
We'll talk
but
about it.
he had to make sure he had the opportunity to get it to him. Willie
Okay.
Jordan could do a 3-step drop and find Jerry and any of those other receivers anywhere he wanted them. Same thing with Timmons. Kid out of Cleveland, Mississippi, was quarterback, and he was a transfer from Mississippi State. He was about 6'4", 6'5". Now, this kid might be 6'2", 6'3", and he's a good quarterback, but he ain't got a rifle for an arm. Rimbert he has to almost be clear
Okay.
for this guy to get it to him. Yeah, you would put Nathan on that type of talent. I'll tell you
Okay.
what, you could put him on Chris Burkett. This
Okay.
kid is this kid's got that talent,
Okay. We got
but
to see this.
He ain't got that size.
Okay.
You
Now
see what I'm saying?
he's a Florida kid, and those Floridians have speed. Now he started off at Edward Water, so he moved up to Valley. And you're still saying you look at him and wonder how he's in the swag when he started out even on a lower level. So they missed
I'm
out.
just saying.
The
Just say
coach missed out on him.
if he was right, if he was that 6'3", 6'4", with
Mhm.
doing the same thing.
Okay.
He's the type of kid. If you threw it towards the sideline and he had to lean to get it and drag his feet, he's
Hmm.
one of those type of
Okay.
receivers that's gonna make it a sure catch.
All right. So
I'm serious. He's some
let's
serious.
let me stop you before you get ahead of yourself. Now, 2 points you already gave me. Now you said when we sitting in the stand Saturday, we're gonna watch this Valley team. You're not saying y'all gonna win, but you saying we're gonna watch this Valley team and we're gonna think back to this interview and say, man, he told us we got some athletes. And then you saying this kid is like that. So that's two things we got to be looking out for. All right. All right.
Yeah, Nathan Rimbert is gonna be. You're gonna see that he's
Okay.
everything. He might look against Jackson, might cover him well, might not catch a pass. Pass rush could be on,
Right.
whatever the case may be.
Gotcha.
You know, but seriously, this kid is gonna be well worth the coaches after season sitting down saying, "Son, we know you transferred in, and we asking you.
Mm-hmm.
We called everybody and tell them we're gonna bring them back or not, but
Mm-hmm.
we ain't asking you. We
uh,
begging you to stay.
right.
We beg. He is an
Okay.
exciting kid. He burned. I mean, he ate Prairie View up, man.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Gosh, he ate Prairie View up. And coach said at the ball game, I didn't get a chance to see or hear the interviews. It was people listening had listened, said that man said that if Valley had gone to him, just
Hmm.
throwed it to him all day, he said we wouldn't have had an answer for him.
Wow. Okay.
They could have beat us really right there
Okay.
with him.
All right. Let's talk about the quarterback. You mentioned him. Obviously, that's the guy who has to get Nathan the ball. We're talking about
Mhm.
Tygerion Williams. And what has stood out most about him is his running ability. He's actually leading the team in rushing. So, does Valley run a lot of design runs for him, or is he out there mostly just kind of improvising, or is the offensive line not holding up, so he has to kind of make it happen?
Basically, sitting up from where I'm looking is something that he sees, and they're giving him the option to take it. I don't think they're designing anything now. He came to Valley. He won they ran a dual quarterback system early in the season. And the other kid, I think, is a big quarterback, but he's more of a passer. He's more of your basic quarterback, your in the pocket type quarterback. This boy can actually, he can, if he drop back and it's there, if it's open, he hit up in there, he's going. Whether your linebackers close down on him or not, he's going. And I mean, if you don't come up, yeah, he gonna bring that thunder. He brings a lot of lumber with him when he running. So yeah, you got to hit him. You got to hit him. And you're right. He's leading the team in rushes. And he's like I said, he's got a good arm, but his passes got to be for sure. You know, he ain't the type that can throw it in that area and feel comfortable that his receivers will get it. It's got to be almost A and B line drawn from him to that receiver, and the receiver got to be clear.
Yeah.
See, but he's a good quarterback. I got to give it to him. He's not a bad quarterback at all, and he'll also be back next year.
Okay. 6'3",
William,
240. Big kid, 6'3", 240. So he'll be a load to bring down. So we gotta keep an eye on him. And going back to a guy you mentioned, every time we talk, it seems like this kid has been there forever. I imagine he's finally a senior, but every time we talk, you bring up his name. I'm talking about the Greenwood native.
the
Yep, the Greenwood
Fabian
native,
Fan.
the Fabian Fan, absolutely. And whether it's on the podcast or if we're just on the phone, you bring his name up, and you always talk about how he's being used. So how's it been for him this season?
Well, he's been put in the field of play. Uh, we, as the community now, this ain't just a public address announcer. Uh, this ain't. Everybody feels that this boy is actually the best back we got, and I've talked to him on several occasions. talk to his dad. Well, I coached his dad in high school.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was strength and conditioning coach for him when he was in high school. This kid has an explosion of speed. And mostly every time like you take against Prairie View, they started him against Prairie View. He played, he got in the game, but I think they handed that football to him about 3 times.
Mm. That's
But now,
always your complaint about it. That's always your complaint.
yeah, I mean, everybody, because it had been all this year when he touched it, it's positive yardage.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like he got in one ball game early in the season. I think against Alcorn. Boom. His first touch. It was way down in the red zone. Touchdown. And all of a sudden, we didn't see him no more until the fourth quarter. Somebody else we played, and it was tight ball game. I can't remember. It was the second ball game. It might have been homecoming. We running. Whoever it is, they shutting us down. I can't remember. I know it was homecoming, and I think it was Bethune-Cookman. Man, he went in the ball game and they gave it to him. He broke it. First time, broke it 60 yards. Set us up down inside the 15. We scored behind it. As soon as he broke the 60 yard, he's back on the sideline. And everybody began to, kind of question the fact that if you ever met him and saw his whole body structure, you say, yeah, he's short, but man, his calf muscles are big as most wide receivers' fists. You see what I'm saying? And you say he might be. That's all he is, just short. As far as football player can take it, yes, sir. And I like I said, I don't know what's the rationale behind it. That's the only most negative part about the situation with football. Like I told you last year, I thought it was bad. This year, I mean, the preseason, all you hear is how he clowned at practice. Everybody is his teammates. Most of his teammates, when they're in the gym at volleyball matches, say, man, that's the best back we got. I don't know why coach won't just let him loose. They'll let him loose. They might give it to him on first or second down when everybody's keying the run. And a lot of times he still might get you. If he get it, if he don't, he's the type of back. He's not Barry Sanders, but he's got these type of qualities. Like a Walter or a Barry, he don't need you to knock a hole wide open. If you can give him a 1 foot wide hole, he get up in it, he gone. He's gone. I'm telling you, he is gone. As a matter of fact, against Jackson last year, he led the team, and this is what everybody was laughing at. He led the team in rushing against Jackson, and didn't carry the football but 3 times.
Yeah,
He
I
broke.
remember that thinking about you when he was running the ball, and I remember him having success and not getting the ball a lot. But he's actually the team's second leading rusher, which makes him the leading rusher from a running back standpoint because the quarterback is the leading rusher. So at the end of the day, he's technically the team's leading rusher as far as coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, but can you imagine
If he got the ball more
if he got it more, then you would be in a better position to do the thing that you need to do.
Gotcha.
But he's leading rushing on 2 and 3 carries a game.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
See, so
We'll see. We'll see if they can turn him loose against this. Now we got a pretty good defense, so we'll see what they can do if they give him a few attempts. But any other names before we move on to the defense? Any other standouts? Any other names that we better? I know you won't be doing the PA here at the vet. Richard will, but if
Dirty
you do,
Rich, my man.
if you're on the PA, what names would you be calling this Saturday on Offense from Valley other than the 3 that we just named?
Let's see, Nathan quarterback, and see tight end.
Tight end. Tight end, second team preseason all
Yeah,
SWAC. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's 0. He wears 0.
Jackson Davis.
Jackson Davis, that's right. Let's see, Jackson, and now the kid that plays running back, Jacoby Thomas, number 5. Jacoby's a good back. Jacoby's a strong runner. He's a strong back, and uh, I don't know. To me, he don't get as many touches as I think he should get. I don't know. The Fabian. Oh, going back to the Fabian, right quick. The Fabian actually has another year's eligibility next year.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
he's been there
uh,
forever.
yeah, because he had. I think he came out. He got the COVID year, and then he tore his ACL. He got a medical red shirt. That kind of is what set him back. But yeah, he's actually, if I'm right, he might have gone. He might have his bachelor's of science degree,
Okay.
and he's in grad school.
Okay.
But he will be back next year, uh, if he don't enter the transfer portal.
All right. A couple other positives for Valley. They're the least penalized team in the SWAC, so they're pretty disciplined on offense and defense, and they're top 5 in the conference in time of possession at over 30 minutes per game. So it's kind of surprising that they have the ball that much, yet all these guys aren't getting the touches. But I want to go back to the game last week. We keep talking about it Prairie View, but take us through that wild finish, that 17-16 loss last week. What went on there, especially towards the end? Valley was leading going to the fourth quarter, and then the 2-point conversion attempt to win it. Just kind of go through that whole thing.
Well, Corey, the thing is, uh, good ball game for number one, and those who like to question coaching cannot question coaching in this ball game. You know, uh, the only thing I would question coaches on is the Fabian. Rimbert ate him alive. All right, coming down the stretch,
Mm-hmm.
Valley. Let's see. Valley is now Prairie View's up 17-10.
10.
They have 17-10. And look, offensive coordinator just he found, if he ain't coordinated all year, I could see his knowledge the other night. He found it. I mean, there were people wide open, and Prairie View have a very, very decent secondary. And I'm talking about he picked them apart, man. All right, ball game on the line, and this is the way I feel Wade felt. Well, hey, heck with tying this up, going into overtime, playing more football.
This is 17-16. So
Uh-huh.
17-10, you score. You're talking about
Right.
17-16. Okay.
It's 17-16. And the way he did not say this now. This is not it had been in the media or nothing. The way he looked at it, I said, he going for 2. Hey, we've been losing all year. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go for this. We're gonna go for it. Win or lose, hey, we played one of the better football teams in the conference, and we played them to the wire. That shows me my kids are growing. All right. He goes for the extra 2, and I declare to you, it was the best uh, single reverse. It was the best single reverse, and that let me know that our offensive line can block when they want. He faked the dive back, gave it to Jacoby. Jacoby was going off tackle, and he just took his hand and flipped that football out like the option. But the kid, he hit him on the option of going the other way. Nobody never seen it. Stepped in the end zone. Valley State with only seconds or a minute or whatever's left. They up 18-17. Like in the movies, all of a sudden, there's a flag
Mm-hmm.
holding
Mm.
against Valley State. So now you mark 10 off. You now still down 17-16. You're gonna go on tie it up, and we're gonna go for the extra two. I mean, we're going to tie it up and go for the overtime. And they've been perfect all year, kicking field goal. Snapped that football in the hole and dropped it. Flipped it, went through his hand. And they was trying to scramble to get it, and he got down in the back. Prairie View gets the football back on the kickoff and kneeled down on it. That's that's what happened. They actually won the football game. Away from that holding call. And like you said, the least penalized team. Very, very disciplined group. Corey, that's why I say, that's one of the reasons I say they're exciting to watch. You just, you know, as a green and white blood and a veteran being up in the booth as a part of the Valley family, you know, and I was around when winning was natural, being competitive was essential. All the way down to being somewhat of a doormat right now. You're looking at certain things as women's basketball, and George, we'll see tomorrow night. Things are growing. These people have gone and recruited, and volleyball team is hopefully will make the SWAC tournament for the first time in maybe 15 or 20 years. See, so you look at the growth of the program, and then you look down there, even though football is losing, you kind of step back and you pick all of the things that you can tell. Like you said, it's ironic that you said we're going to talk about the positive, because I'm being honest with you. What I see in the future, it's real gritty, real gritty. I mean, I can't tell you, go and beat us up, Jackson, this year. Go ahead on and have your fun. Because when you come down in that delta with them giant mosquitoes out next year, it's going to be more than trouble. I can't say that. I cannot say what will happen. But I do know that this guy's, to me, unless the kid got a bunch of kids leave, a bunch of kids go to the portal, whatever may happen, if it all stays together, they stand to have a nice future. Got to give them the future tense, because, you know, if you don't look to the future, then you to think about things the way they're going now, you'll give it all a F rating. No, can't give them an F, because I see the F that's been put into putting the glue on this football team. They're pretty exciting to watch, Corey. Please.
Okay. We'll take your word for it, but we'll see firsthand this Saturday. We'll see this
Yep.
Saturday, but let's move over to the defense, talk about bright spots on that side of the ball, starting with the linebacker, Eric Campbell. He's among the league leaders in the SWAC in tackles, and he actually has a couple interceptions as well this season. So talk about him, or just the defense, the positives, or any other names on defense that we need to look out for.
When the defense come to mind, Eric is the only. You may have other names you can bring up, and you will bring them up, and I say, oh, yeah. But that boy, man, yeah, he's something serious. He is something serious. Now, Dak, I'm gonna be honest with you now. I watch him a lot, and when I'm when I'm calling the tackles out, a lot of times there are certain names that come across, but he's come behind plays where, you know, when you make the hit, before you turn the microphone on, you haul up and holler, oh, my goodness. Then if you run in a no-huddle offense, you don't get a chance to call his name, because you feel with that excitement of him making that hit. See, but yes, on the defense, I met a lot of those kids in preseason. They didn't, I guess you said, this sounds kind of like I'm down in my school. They looked like a lot of them look like action figures. They look cut, and I'm talking about they look like action figures. I'm talking about defensive ball player. And the Fabian was standing there, and he was saying, Coach, this boy here was doing this last year. He was all this and that, this and right here. He transferred from so-and-so, so-and-so. He said, we ain't never had it like this around here. He said, So they gonna be so and so, so and so, and he was just giving me the the goods on all of them. And then he introduced me, showed me the area, and I said, and I was joking, was would I be calling your name? He said, no. He said, I ain't. He said, I'm not gay, but I'm gonna give you a lot to dream about. He said it just like that. I'm gonna give you a lot to dream about. I said, well. He said, because when I come up and make those plays, I don't mind making them. Put it like that. And after I didn't remember until the first time I called him out on a tackle. I said, oh. So I started watching him a little. Yeah, he the truth. He is the truth. I kid you not. Now, as far as the secondary is concerned, he's running kids in and out in the secondary. But now, I don't mind saying this. The coverage, as far as me knowing football, ain't as good as I would want it to be. But it's better as far as the Valley standpoint is concerned. It's better than it's been. Yeah, you got some kids can cover real decent. But I just, it to me, I always say we look like we don't mind the other team throwing and don't mind the receiver catching. We just want to make that hit after the catch. And that, to me, that's dangerous. I like to see the Dion way of doing things. Hey, I want to see coverage. Give that quarterback something to stand back there and get those pass rushers a reason to say he got too much time because we got it covered out here. Then they got to make them break back and get yardage like that. But the secondary is not bad.
Surprisingly, the Valley State pass defense is ranked 7th in the SWAC, right behind Jackson State. Actually, right behind Jackson State, they're giving up 218 yards through the air. So you're right. You're right. That's one bright spot about the team.
So like I said, we are you and I both are on tap with the entire outlook of basically the Valley State, the whole Valley State persona.
So let's do this. You surprised me with saying that you were actually optimistic about this team. So let's go
Oh
ahead and
yeah.
talk about the struggles then, things that frustrate you. Let's look at the offense. They're ranked last in the SWAC, only averaging 14 points a game, 267 yards. They're 8th in rushing, only 83 yards a game, and 8th in passing at 183 yards per game. They've given up 23 sacks on the season, and they have 16 interceptions and 16 fumbles. And they only convert 31% of their third down. So, what's the most frustrating thing for you about this offense?
Every bit of what you just said. Every bit of what you just said. Because I'm telling you, Corey, when you see this group and you see even in spurts what they can do, somewhere down the line you're gonna say it ain't about those kids. It ain't coaches. It ain't the magnitude of the knowledge of their coaches. Somewhere in there, somebody ain't motivating somebody.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Uh, I don't care. Lafayette Scribbling had the best example of being a college coach. And he said, it is very, very tough when your career is dependent on people less than the age of 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep them up, motivated. You got to make them think that they Superman. You got to make the think you got to make them think that they can walk through walls, jump off telegram poles on top of the head and get up and live. You got to almost make them think that whatever you say is gold. You got to do that with even high school athletes. With athletes, you have to make them know that you're human, but you're a builder of men. You're a
Mm.
builder of character. You're a builder of pride, dignity. You got to do that. And all in all, putting it in a nutshell, all the ingredients to having a good football team is sitting right there.
Okay.
The only thing you can tell the difference in when we score a touchdown, it's almost a Super Bowl. It's almost a Super Bowl when we say score a touchdown. See, and it which you're gonna jump and cheer and go on. Everybody's happy you scored, but we can be down 2 touchdowns and score, and it's almost like we just took the lead.
Gotcha. Okay.
There is motivation. That's the only thing, and I can't say that the coaches are not trying, but whatever method of motivation that they're giving, evidently part is not working.
Okay.
Motivating children, you got to know what how to hit their spots, and then you got 60 some odd different personalities. You get just about have to know how to motivate each one of them.
And would you say the same thing on defense? Because if we're talking about the struggles, defensively, they're giving up 40 points a game, 451 yards, and that's including 230 on the ground. So some struggles there. So would you say the same thing? You got the players, you got the athletes, you just lack of motivation on that side as well?
It's motivation. That's all. That's the only thing it can be, because if you look at them, when you look at them Saturday, and uh you see uh their mentality, you see how they come to the football. You see them make plays. You'll probably say to yourself, and then all of a sudden look like they'll take a few plays off. All of a sudden backs can run free. People can run them down that field. I seen them against Alcorn, took that football and went all the way down the field. Alcorn got down. They were first and goal on the 3. I seen them joke, and it was an embarrassment to Alcorn. They shut them down 4 in a row. I'm talking about these kids. They were running strong on Valley. Got down inside the gut. They tightened a lot of screws, and that let me know that whoever's motivating them got them motivated enough to realize, now you done gave up nearly 100 yards. Now tighten up and show these people something different. I seen them do that on several occasions. They, Prairie View got down in the red zone, inside the 20, somewhere up in there, and they got a good field goal kicking, and they were so frustrated they tried a field goal in the first half and missed it. I mean, you'll see they'll come up, you know, um, and just it's basically unreal.
Okay.
But motivation would be, and that's an opinion. That's my speculation. That ain't saying what's actually wrong, or I don't know if it may be other things that there's other kids that can play, and I don't know. But motivation. I've
Motivate.
been around athletics a long time, and I can tell when a group is motivated and when they're not.
But I tell you what, good news for Valley, if that's the problem, motivation. I don't think that'll be a problem this weekend, Saturday, going to Jackson, because we know for every team, not just Valley, and you said this out of
Definitely.
your own mouth. You said that's the game. That's the one you circle on the calendar. That's the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. If you don't win a game all year, if you win that Jackson State game, that almost saves the season for you, right? So
Yeah.
going to the vet, if these kids, I tell you what, if they're not motivated this weekend, you may need a new group of kids, right? If this don't get them motivated.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking forward to that. Two former Tigers will be making their return to the vet. Defensive lineman Donovan Parham. He started out at Jackson State and he's played well for Valley this season. 32 tackles, 3 sacks so far. And then cornerback Bruce Mitchell. A lot of Jackson State fans will remember him as well. Batman. He was a part of TC Taylor's first signing class, and he has 15 tackles and 4 pass breakups on the season. We talk about how well the secondary is playing. So a couple guys will be super excited to come back to Jackson. But the overall, I know the team is getting amped up and motivated. This one will be on HBCU Go if you can't make it. we hope everybody within driving distance and, even up in the Delta, come on down, pack out the vet. We got 60,000 seats for you. So come on down. Otherwise, HBCU go, and we'll see. You gave us a lot. So we're going to go down the list and check it out. Yeah, he told us. He told us. So we'll see. We'll see. But we always appreciate you for coming on.
Anytime, my man.
All right. We'll check back in with you real soon.
Okay. Appreciate it, Corey. Appreciate having me.
No doubt.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by Bet Online.